Would you like to press the button for the intro music? Yes, it is like old time.
We need
That one does weird stuff. And
you know what? It you might want to check where the mics are set up.
I did. I set the mics up properly.
No, the sound, because it might be coming through somewhere else.
What operating system is this garbage?
Dude, I don't know.
I left for like 2 weeks and everything's different. Yep. I don't like it. How do you what?
So go back so I put sound so I could actually hear stuff, because I don't, you took your speakers home.
Did I? I guess I did.
Yeah.
Where's sound?
So
okay.
if you just right click on the screen here.
Here we go, chat. Okay, I did it. You got it. Okay. It's so weird. Hey, my name is Sean Shapiro. I used to be a cop, but now I'm not. But you are.
I am.
It's good to be back. I haven't seen you in a while.
No, sir. We're trying to figure this all out as we go here. So.
Why? Oh, that light's not on. Why is that light not on? Can you press that light on?
Oh, yeah.
It needs a manual power button depression for some reason. We're trying to figure out why we're in the dark here. Just press the power and is it not plugged in? Tech support. Hey, it's been a while. My name is Sean Shapiro. I said that. Oh, there we go. But you should probably turn it towards us. We had it set up for podcasting last time. Yes. Oh, that's a little brighter. Hey guys, I missed you, but I'm here helping Peter out. We're talking about stuff and things, and yeah, we're in the studio, your studio.
Is it my studio? I don't know. Last time I checked it, I'm pretty sure the chief said it was his studio or the Toronto Police studio.
It might actually be the chief's studio. That makes sense. And Rip,
man, this light, it's like looking into the sun. I'll have to figure that out afterwards.
You want to turn it down? You can dial it down.
You
want to move it over there?
I feel like it's going supernova on me, but okay.
You're getting a tan. You have to change positions later, face the other way, so you can get it all evened out. Here, look at this. We can put logos up. Did you see we can put the logo up there? We could do traffic services there. We can do stuff.
How do you put up the, you know how you were saying we were streaming on these things?
You hit this button. But I haven't made one for you. It still says Ask a Traffic Up with Sean Shapiro.
Okay. So
but we are streaming on all those places. It's pretty magical. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and X.
So I need access to all those accounts.
Yes. it helps if we turn those on. But yes.
Where's my pen? Oh, look, John Carlo's coming.
So this is not only an opportunity for us to talk to you and answer questions about stuff and things, but we are able to, get ready for the continuation, the continued amazing awesomeness that is the show. All right.
Tons of awesomeness. So that was Kicked, LinkedIn, Twitch. All right.
So many things to do. He's going to get a pad. Now, John Carlo's going to come in and do. So let's see. We got some more good morning messages. We've got Brandon who says, good morning from all from Key Largo. Let's have a safe, fun day. I'm going to be in Florida next week. I'm not Key Largo, but wait, where's Key Largo?
Why am I Key Largo, Jamaica?
Oh, I want to take it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, Peter. That's from Tim Shallow. We've got
thanks, Tim.
Chase says Sean can never truly leave.
Chase, I'm trying to get him out. Here's the problem: he holds certain things hostage.
I drove an hour and a half to get here, and I brought some stuff with me. I got a sign.
He brought me a
password.
Nubs, who's the
yeah. So
I apparently ordered the wrong Nubs.
I got him something at the auction house I went to, and he bought the wrong thing, but it's still cute. My daughter liked it.
It's just not electronic.
My daughter liked it a lot. What's going on, AJ? I see AJ. He's not home.
Oh, this is
hi. Nice haircut.
Please lock the door.
We've got Julie Massey.
John Carlo's in the back. John Carlo, just so you know, your mic is not plugged in.
We could make it plugged in. Would you like a microphone?
No.
I want to be involved. Get his microphone cable. We can plug him in.
No.
He looks so sweet. Look at it.
I spent all this time cleaning, and I am not letting him in. Look, you can hear him perfectly. You
cannot hear him perfectly. Well, this is a good opportunity to test wires and stuff. Okay.
Okay.
I'm plugging in. He's gonna do things under the desk. It's gonna be weird. Okay, so we have Julie who says good morning to you.
Can you please step away from the desk,
and everyone out there? We've got a Kayla Draconis who says greetings and salutations from Minising, or is it Minesing? I don't know. We have Bernhard 22 who says rip James Earl Jones. So I was I was driving down here this morning, and with an hour and a half to myself, I'm like, James Earl Jones, and I'm like that hurts just to say it. But he had such a phenomenal voice. I truly appreciate him, not just because he's a Star Wars young guy.
Mufasa.
And Mufasa. What do we have here? Liz, who says, yay, good morning, Peter and Sean. Good morning, Liz. Good to see you. Nick says, civilian Sean Shapiro, traffic policing subject matter expert. I like the new title. I think I'm going to put it on a business card. It makes sense. It makes sense. 3 would be yes. And then we can press this button here. And we can take 3. Oops, wrong button.
Good thing is he won't be able to hear anything because he doesn't have a headset. So.
Right. He's going to be like Akela when he was in. Unmuted.
Can you speak so we can test?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
No, okay.
Test.
We hear him.
Yeah, can we mute that?
As soon as you plug me in.
Yeah, you're in and then you're out.
Oh, we're having some technical difficulties. Sorry there, John Carlo. I don't know what happened. Just disconnected him.
We've got Akela who says he's about to hit the road and get some breakfast. Breakfast sounds like a good plan. Elizabeth Grenier says, can a new Canadian with a G1 be driving a cab with his trainer drive a cab with passengers?
No.
You can't work as a cab driver
That's
with a G1. You have to have a cab license. You can't get a cab license with a G1. And if you can, there's something tremendously wrong with the system.
that question was all sorts of wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No.
I can't see it
Sorry.
actually happening because
Sorry, Elizabeth, I don't want to break it to you, but yeah, no. If you want to report that person, that would be great.
I'm sure there's an agency out there. I don't know who you'd report it to. But if I pulled someone over who had a G1 that was operating a taxi cab, I imagine they wouldn't have a taxi cab license. Just guessing. And you have to have one. We've got the Grinch coming in from Twitch who says good morning. And Denny's alligator. Is that did I read that right? Alligator, yeah. Explain no stopping versus no standing. Good question. What does anyone know what the heck that I don't know. I am not the parking guru and never have been. No standing has different we can handle this question.
So no standing automatically means so you can't
It deals with whether or not you can pick up or stop for
Correct.
even packages.
yes.
And
So no standing. So for instance, even if you had an accessible permit, yeah, if you had an accessible permit, it wouldn't apply. You couldn't stop. You'd still get ticketed just like any other vehicle.
No stopping zone would be like your rush hour zone. So rush hour, say on the lake shore.
Can you speak closer to your mic, please?
I'm so sorry. So you're no stopping. There's no exceptions to that, right? So there's no exceptions to stopping. So it's like a rush hour route. So if you cannot.
Okay.
You're shaking
Yeah, shaking the head because he's playing with dials trying to make you louder, and it's not working because he's not using the right dials. But it's sorry as I totally distract you trying to answer.
So hold on, am I on the right track here?
You're on the right track. Go
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
it.
so
Just
no
keep talking.
stopping is
Hold on,
for no reason you cannot stop a vehicle.
Well, he actually.
man, that's
Oof.
pretty.
Nobody should
close.
see that in high
No,
definition.
no,
I'm sorry.
No.
What are these
So
dials?
think your
Here?
rush hour routes. You cannot stop the vehicle on the roadway. So there's no exceptions to that. You have to make sure that it's the flow of traffic. And these are for like a lot of the rush hour routes that we do have on King Street, Queen, Dundas, all those kind of things. Standing is where you can't stop your car unless you are actively loading or unloading, I think, passengers and or goods, I believe it is. But you have to be actively doing that. So that's why in a lot of the TTC bus stops, you'll see a no standing zone. And that there is for buses to unload and load items.
So let me zoom back up.
Yeah, please zoom out. Thank you.
Yes,
very much.
you're very
Too
welcome.
much.
So according to this, okay, here. So we have a
Where's Aaron? We need Aaron.
that would be helpful if Aaron was here. Okay, so ChatGPT gave me some very specific and detailed. I want the abbreviated, quick. Essentially, no stopping is no stopping at all. No standing, you can stop briefly to let passengers in or out. No parking says you can stop briefly to let passengers in or out or to load or unload goods, but you can't park or leave your vehicle unattended.
So I was pretty much correct, but the good ones in the no standing zone. That's what I got wrong.
That's okay. I get them confused all the time. That was a lot of
a
water.
great question for him.
That water came through perfectly on the mic too.
Big splash.
Yeah.
ASMR, is that what that is? Sean Chen says, hi, good morning. Leo wife, my wife is watching and says, good morning. She's watching on YouTube, which means I'm on a 50-inch screen right now or some big, I don't even know how big my screen is. I might need a new screen that's bigger.
50 sounds small in these days.
I don't think I have an 80. I definitely don't have an 80. I have I need a bigger TV. Abraham says, my friend drive with a suspension license. What is the fine if he got pulled over?
No, there's no fine.
Oh, because it's well, drive under suspension is go directly to court. It's you're gonna get summons. But what is the range? Do we know offhand? Is it up to 3,000 or?
I think it's minimum of $1,000.
Interesting. I don't know what the maximum fine is, but it is a go to court and get dealt with by a justice of the peace.
What people don't understand too is that you actually go to jail as well. There is the
Consequences.
option for the jail sentencing, because if you're caught driving under suspension, a new
This
time,
is Jerry Agar.
I got to cut you off because we got NewsTalk 1010 who just jumped in and I didn't see them until
And
just
every
now.
once in a
Can we
while,
mute
we
him
join
and
the
mute him so he
TikTok
doesn't
traffic cop, former police officer Sean Shapiro, now
Might
at
help, eh?
trafficcop.ca.
You wait and see.
Sean, good morning.
NewsTalk, can you hear us?
Right here. I can hear
Oh,
you.
1 second. I think our audio is not working
I
properly.
think his
Hang on.
audio is all
What?
screwed up. That's what I think.
We have a new computer.
What else does he
I'm
think?
going to.
Let's.
Oh, here. There we go. Now I hear you.
Okay. What's going on over there?
Oh, it's mayhem. It's utter
I
mayhem.
see.
Organized
Mayhem.
chaos. Organized
All right.
chaos.
It's people running red lights. That's what's going on. You got a guest, I understand.
Well, it's more than I'm the guest because we're right now on the traffic services channels. I've come in to help Peter because I've retired. I'm no longer here. I'm the civilian on the channel. But
Yeah.
I came in today, and when I heard from you guys, I said, "Oh, we'll bring you all together and we'll do it again and introduce you to Peter."
Well, why, Peter, are you called the Star Wars cop?
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so
I see.
Yeah, and I used to do
Okay.
Star Wars breakfast. All my programs were Star Wars themed, and so I used to be on the night side with Barb Julie on NewsTalk 1010, and we talk Star Wars.
Well, she was married on May the 4th.
Correct.
May the 4th be with you. But I also understand you're a bicycle safety guru.
The term guru is a
Well,
little intimidating, but I am definitely into bicycle safety. I do a lot around kids and helmets and things like that.
Uh-huh. Can you do anything about bicycles not stopping for red lights?
That's a highway traffic thing. Anyone can do that. An officer, not this guy.
It's a problem because it's not all cyclists who do it, but the ones who do it are obviously the ones we pay attention to the most. They're the ones drawing our attention as police officers.
I gotta say, Jerry, you're setting me up for a lot of hate right now because if I say anything about the cycling community,
Yeah. Well, you know, it's not all peaches and cream coming on this show, Peter. All right. Well, let's talk about some traffic related stuff. Since you're the new guy here, Peter de Quintal, what kinds of things are of major concern for you in traffic in this city?
So, Jerry, I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to become the Ask the Star Wars Cop, traffic and policing. So I'm newer to traffic services, but I would tell you we always have our four major concerns, which are speeding, impaired,
aggressive driving,
distracted driving.
Yeah.
So those are always our major concerns. We have our VZ teams out in the city daily enforcing those four major ones.
Yeah, and you know, things haven't changed. We have the same bad actors who don't seem to care. On my drive down to the station, which took me an hour and a half, by the way, I had a woman who crossed over the bullnose coming from the 401 to the DVP, cut across, cut me off, and I could see through the window that they had the 104, which is their charges from their last vehicle stop, on the dashboard. We have people who are habitual bad drivers who don't follow laws and don't care about anybody but themselves. And these are the kind of behaviors that need to be adjusted through enforcement and education.
Just,
No,
sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sean's dealing with this through therapy. He's pretty angry about this right now. So I just want to,
All right. Well, this just came in by text message. Why do we not have license plates of some sort on bicycles and scooters to identify ownership and traffic violations?
Well, about 100 years ago, that was a thing in Toronto.
It was. My parents will talk about it, but I understand the cost is too great now to put it back into place.
The cost for who?
The city,
City,
because it's on the website. If you go
No,
to
wait
Toronto,
a second. You charge people for license plates.
at least that's the claim that they have on the website, because I've looked into it and I was beaten up online when I suggested it would be great to have some of these violators actually identifiable and linked back just as they were on a motor vehicle. I think it's a great idea. I also like the idea of automated enforcement everywhere, which we couldn't employ on bicycles because they don't have license plates. So it's done in Europe. European countries and states have license plates in some of them. They have it for their e-scooters, and it makes a lot of sense, but I could see it being work.
All right. So, and someone else just asked this question. We haven't had this question before, Sean. I see MTO on the 407 all the time, pulling over trucks, large vans, etc. I noticed also they have firearms. Do they have the same authority as police officers, and can they pull anybody over?
While they have the authority, they generally focus only on commercial motor vehicles. They could, and they work with us all the time when we do special stuff if we are looking for modified vehicles. But their focus is going to be based on their policies to focus on commercial motor vehicles. They could actually pull over anyone.
In a previous life, I used to be a delivery driver 20 plus years ago, and I had my truck taken by the MTO.
No kidding. What'd you do wrong?
Really?
Yep.
What'd you do?
So I got pulled over in Barrie coming through, and yeah, I had done my circle check, which is just a vehicle inspection check at the beginning of the day, make sure my horn, my lights are all working. Yeah, you can tell the company all day that it doesn't work, and then their thing is, if it's not on the road, it's not making money, and I needed a job, and I don't want to be unemployed, and so yeah. I remember them telling me to honk the horn. I said, it doesn't work. And so they're like, no, honk your horn. I'm like, meep.
All right.
I had like these barrels in the back, and they're like, what secures those into the back of your truck? I said, gravity, like anything else. I got along really well with them. They didn't charge me, but they did go pretty hard on the company.
There's a lot of pressure, and you see this with the dump truck drivers as well. They are sort of at the whim of the person loading the truck, but they're still responsible for it if they're putting it on the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I can tell you,
right.
my truck was taken off from me, and 2 days later, they pulled over my truck again. I didn't happen to be driving that day because I was off sick, and it got taken again.
Wow.
Wow. Well, maybe the company would figure it out. If you recognize the voice of former police officer Sean Shapiro, the TikTok traffic cop. He's now at trafficcop.ca. Peter de Quintal is joining us as well as a cop who will be taking over that TikTok broadcast. Is that correct?
That is correct. Once I understand TikTok and get everything running here, yeah.
All right.
It's a bit of a steep learning curve.
Yeah, just a bit.
Okay. And another question that somebody texted in for you guys. Can you ask if we have 5 days on a new/old plated car to transfer the insurance?
No. Okay. So insurance must be on a motor vehicle before it's allowed to drive on the road. There are no exceptions of any kind. It must be insured. You call up, and it's not enough to simply say, I'm going to get a quote. You have to have actually insurance and confirmation. Insurance companies record all those conversations. There's proof, and they will come to court and play that proof or lack thereof when you try and claim there's insurance. Anyway, there is no benefit like that. There is something with license plates. So if you have plates at home, they were on your previous vehicle, but they're currently in unattached status. That means that they're not affiliated with any other vehicle. You sold the vehicle that you once was on. Then you have up to 6 days, I believe, where you can put it onto the vehicle that is insured and then drive that to get to where you need to go to get it either safetied or transferred.
Okay. And somebody else writes in by text message. You can text us at 416-872-1010. Come to Sioux, Ontario. The police stopped enforcing traffic violations, but will press charges after accidents happen. Constant accidents at lights and stop signs. Well, you guys don't speak for them, but is this happening? Like, are police getting too busy and doing something else?
Well, we have dedicated officers that do nothing other than enforcement. Those are the Vision Zero officers, and they are out there making a huge difference in communities across the city. Every police officer can write tickets, but very often what we see are police officers that aren't writing tickets because they're on their way to a call. They can't go from, going to a break and enter or an event that is a priority to stop and deal with someone that is dealing with a minor traffic issue as much as we'd like to, because it is a frustration point where we see something happen and we might want to deal with it, but can't because we're on a priority call.
Yeah, because the issue is resources towards our primary response units. So those are the folks who respond to your 911 calls. Even if they seem like they're down for a moment, it's because they're probably writing a report to the previous call. And right now, our response times, it's been very open in the public. Our response times aren't great. And part of that is, if we have poor response times, that also means we can't do the extra things of the traffic enforcement on the side and stuff, where we would have had downtime and do that traffic enforcement. Right now, we're just going call to call to call.
But that's not to say we're not writing tickets. There's hundreds of thousands of tickets being written, and those are stats you can get from the city. I think last year was over 250,000 tickets. Yeah. So they're happening, but they're not happening as much as we'd like to see.
Our stats are still comparable to the previous year, but yeah.
Okay, now somebody writes in, we got about a minute left here, and I always like this because people think it's a contest. Can police hide in order to give speeding tickets?
We can do that, absolutely. There's no must, wave a flag to say, hey, slow down or else. We can catch you when you're doing it. I mean, when we measure speed, we might be 200 meters away, hiding or not. You're never going to see us, and we won't know who's in the car until we pull you over.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know the size of me and Sean, but we're not very good at hiding behind many things. So,
And I'm wearing a reflective vest. I stand behind a pole. I look like a striped guy.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, these are people who I've heard people say, well, it's not fair. Well, what are you talking about?
Come on.
Don't speed. Don't run through red lights, and it won't matter where the cop is.
Well, that's the whole thing. And there are rules. They're very simple ones. If you don't break them, you're never going to have to deal with a ticket because we're always accused of the cash grab. We're just trying to generate funds. If you don't want us to get the money for the government, don't break the law, and you will see us be so unhappy that we can't ticket you. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It would be a mentality of like, hey, I just stole something. It's not fair that you're watching me and you caught me. Shouldn't you be doing other things? Like,
what'd you put that stupid security camera in the jewelry store for?
Yeah.
So Sean Shapiro, the TikTok traffic cop, he is retiring as a police officer. He's at trafficcop.ca. And Peter de Quintal is now becoming the cop who does the TikTok program every day. Thanks to both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Always a pleasure. We'll catch you later.
All right. This is the iHeartRadio Talk Network.
So not only did we not have the fader up for Jerry, so we couldn't hear him. Like, why isn't this working? It's because the fader was down. So there's a fader for computer.
So which one is that? That's
the
it's the other green
purple one. Purple one.
It's the purple one. So purple is
What does this one do?
Jerry, and I don't know which one is Giancarlo. Because
Giancarlo is number 3, and we can take him off mute because you were so
muted.
Oh yeah, you were muted the entire time. So
my fat fingers are not.
License plate.
There you go.
Insurance thing.
Oh, were you?
I was.
Oh.
But I saw you nodding to confirm what I was saying, so I appreciate that.
Yes.
So for anyone who's watching going, what? You've been ignoring us because you're talking to Jerry? Yes, we were. We were talking to Jerry. And now we're back to you. Although I got to say that we I don't know, what time are we going to? Are we doing 11, 11:15?
If we can do 11, only because I got a lot of learning and you're no longer here. I don't want to hold it.
I'm not actually getting paid for this. So yeah.
He's doing this out of his volunteer and out of the goodness of his heart. And
Vaughn told him to come on in. And say, hey man, we still need some more help here.
I help when I can. Oh, caller question.
When you do a U-turn at a stoplight, which light are you supposed to turn into?
U-turn at a stoplight. Oh, when you do it, so you're doing an absolute U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't proceed on red.
A lot of times
no, but it has to be. It can't be a stoplight. It has to be on a green.
One
sec. They're not even here to listen to us.
Which light are you supposed to turn into?
Maybe lane.
So if it's multiple lanes and you're doing a U-turn, do you go wide or you do? I mean, very rarely can you actually do from center lane to center lane.
Correct. So
it's going to be whatever you get into. I can't think of.
So, but there's another thing I want to bring up with that too, because I've seen it a few times where a U-turn. As long as as long as it's not posted, you cannot do a U-turn. You can do a U-turn. It can be on any light. It could be on a red light or.
But there's still
if it's a red light, you can't enter the intersection.
You're not entering the intersection.
On a U-turn.
On a U-turn, you can actually. Okay, let's.
Hold on, before the stop line or after the stop line?
Yeah, after you stop, you can do a U-turn because you're not crossing any lanes of traffic. You're going back into. How do I put this now?
So hold on, you're proceeding into an
intersection
that is a red light.
So let's disregard that.
Let's not go into this.
I don't want to get this is gray.
This is going to get real technical, real gray. Just so you're also aware, there's also other things around that, like it can't be 30 meters within a hill or that kind of stuff or intersection when you're doing those things. Correct?
That's
outside of the intersection.
If you're coming across of a hill, railroad track, that kind of stuff. Usually that won't be at an intersection. So. Yeah, so I'm assuming you meant lane, not light. So it would have to be the closest lane you can without interfering with the other way of traffic, right? So if you're heading north and you want to do a U-turn to go south, you have to make sure that it's done in safety and also with the closest lane without interfering with anyone else. So,
and now, Toronto Road Cam says, cop is saying it's okay to run a red?
I've never said that.
Every time Giancarlo comes on, we'll put a disclaimer below it.
This may or may not be correct.
Do your own research.
Toronto Road Cam says you can't pass the stop line to make a U-turn on a red. But you know what? This is going to be a good sidebar. We'll do some research. We'll get some legal on it.
Hey, Giancarlo, thanks for coming on. My first time on the show. I really appreciate your input. This is going to go fantastic for me. Just so you know, I believe he still has his own TikTok. I mean, his own Twitter account. Your traffic cop, you can hit that one up. Stay away from the Star Wars cop guy because I don't that wasn't me who's speaking. So let's just be very clear about it.
Oh my God. Oh, it's getting warm in here. Mike wants to know how you register a bike in Ontario. And since I know nothing of that, is that still a program run in the divisional level?
So in the city, you can register your bike. And we encourage you to register your bike. So you can go onto the TPS website and you can register your bike under the serial number. If you don't know where the serial number is, it's at the bottom of your crank. So you'd lift your bike upside down. It would be at the bottom
into
there.
the metal.
Yep, stamped into the metal. Please don't file it down. If you've bought a bike that's filed down,
Don't buy that
tell you
bike.
that's not the bike you want. And
It's not the bike you're looking for.
yes. And so, you can register in the city. However, realize it's in the city of Toronto. It's registered. Whatever municipality region you have, they may have their own bike license, bike registration process. But we encourage you to do that because if your bike is ever stolen or lost, it's the easiest way to get it back to you. Otherwise, we're going to ask you, if we did find that bike, we're going to ask you legitimately, like, hey, do you have any pictures or anything with that? I don't know how many people take pictures with their bikes all the time. So that would probably be a good idea too, to say, this is my bike. But please don't go doing it on the street to other people's bikes and be like, hey, this is my bike. Don't do that. I don't want to encourage that kind of misbehavior.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
No.
So this is the question that was being discussed prior when we realized that Jerry was like going, what are these dum-dums talking about ignoring us? So here is the question from Ibrahim, who says, my friend drive with a suspended license. What is the fine if you got pulled over? We sort of started talking about it, but we never finished it.
And then Jerry jumped in and everything went to Jerry.
And we totally ignored it.
John Carlo's talking about other things back there.
A couple words in, but obviously you guys don't want me here anymore.
No, we love you, man.
No,
Don't go
man.
anywhere.
Dude, don't worry about it. I'll invite you on the show. I'm just going to keep you in the back there over there.
So
And,
this is
I'm gonna sit center. My giant head will cover you, and you can just be my voice,
so
my
does the
inner
church
monologue.
drive while suspended?
Yes, drive under suspension. Yeah.
Wireless suspended.
Drive while no. Come on.
So usually it is a minimum $1,000 fine. As I said, if you are caught numerous times, then they can request that there is jail time.
I've had guys go to jail.
Oh, yeah.
On weekends.
I have too, yeah.
Yeah. I remember one guy. It was like the fourth time, younger kid, probably 21, 22. It was the fourth time I'd caught him, and eventually he got jail time. And his first thing, and I'll be honest with you, it was quite the moment. He got handcuffed in the court, and he's like, "Call my mom," to his girlfriend. So I would he'd always be in the same area.
Forget that it is a privilege to drive a vehicle, right? It's not then it's not a right. So there are rules that we need to follow, and if you're not going to follow them and you continue to break that law, and then there's nothing else but to do, because they would have tried first. Yes, there's the deterrent of the fines. There's a deterrent of the extended suspensions. But if you're not going to comply by those, that they have no choice but to throw you in jail. And
jail's good. More people need to go to jail. Apparently, that's how they learn.
And let's be clear that saying that you're traveling
God.
is not a thing. You can travel on your feet, not in the car. Traveling on your feet is your right. In your car, not so much.
Freeman of the land baloney. That I don't understand how people are so.
I appreciate
gullible
you being here because you can say things
I can
that
say
I can
things.
just never.
Absolutely.
Just please don't get me in trouble for being on
No,
the show.
this is a former member, not an active member.
Right
Okay, so we have for a first offense, it's a fine not less than 1,000, not more than 5,000. For each subsequent offense, a fine not less than 2,000, not more than 5,000, or 2 imprisonment for a term of not more than 6 months, or to both. So the fine can always include jail time.
Yes. So it doesn't mean you can choose jail. Like, hey, I can't do 6 months of jail or the fine, or I can't pay 5,000. I'll do 6 months. No, you can get both.
It's a good day to get.
It's a win-win if you're that person.
Liz wants to know how it feels for me not to get up at 4 in the morning every weekday. I'm now getting up at 6. This is where the 6 gets in. So I'm sleeping in 2 hours a day more. It is wonderful.
But Liz, ask him about that. If he's waking up at 4 and he can get here at 6 at a reasonable time, why does it now take him an hour and a half to get here?
Because when I got up at 4, there was no traffic, and it took me a whole lot less time to do the drive. I can't get over how that's the one thing that it's not being a cop. It's not someone who has to be here at 6 a.m. It's a totally different experience driving in Toronto. I could have walked here. It was so bad. It was, and people are so rude on the road with the aggressive driving. I've not had to deal with it having been here during all the rush hour. And now I'm being subjected to it like everybody else.
You should start that walk and do a charity walk.
Walk to work and try and raise money for something.
Yeah.
Tracy says, hey, and best viewers on, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Good morning is this message. And
hey, that's Portuguese.
Where?
That's a Portugal flag there. The one you just quickly ignored. Right
no,
there.
That's a Portugal. Oh, okay.
Bon dia.
I don't see it there, but I see it there.
Yeah.
Bon dia.
Bon dia.
dia.
Bella. Bon
and
dia,
then
Bella.
Clarkify says, Sean, there he is. Leo Wave says, when you put 3 cops in one room, I'm sure this is us, the hilarity that ensued.
We're going to do this more often. Just Sean will be in his pajamas sitting at home.
I'm going to do this remotely happily whenever you want.
If it still works, I'm going to keep John Carlo in the back. Maybe I'll actually keep them in our other office.
What you need is the dual camera so we can have 3D. So,
Ooh,
you know,
I like
you
that.
can-
Just so you're aware that Giancarlo is my roommate. Actually, I moved into his office.
Thank you very much. Made that very clear.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
moved into his office. I cleaned it up and made it look a lot better.
And put all your Star Wars stuff
Yeah,
on.
and put Star Wars stuff in there.
Oh.
And if you don't know, he's not a Star Wars fan.
Not
but-
at all.
Everybody is inside.
I almost spat the water out. That was funny. The Real VR says, corrected my pronunciation of the place where it's menacing, not mine.
Oh,
Menacing.
Yeah.
I don't idea. I have no idea what that person was just typing to me. Hang on a second. Scrolling down. There we go. Conviv. What is that? Darren Phillips. You to visit. Say what to who? What is this? Say what who?
and this has come up on
Conviv-
6 minutes to 11 o'clock.
Okay. How do you safety a motorcycle in Ontario? You take it to a motorcycle mechanic. They do the motorcycle safety. That's how you do it. I mean, I don't know how you actually safety. I've never been a mechanic, so I don't know what the process is, other than I bet they check to make sure it's safe.
Sure, that sounds reasonable. Giancarlo, do you have anything to add to that? No, Giancarlo's staying quiet. Excellent. Let's move on to the next question. Thank you so much, Giancarlo,
Hey,
for the
is it
input.
still working? Hello.
Yes,
Still working. Okay.
Still on.
We
It's
have
still on.
we have the translated version from Darren now. Who convinced you to come on?
Oh, who convinced Sean to come on? Yeah. So let's just be clear about this. Sean didn't have an opportunity to say no.
I
He's
would've
here.
happily
This has been he's been forced to do this. We're going to give him a Twix bar afterwards and send him on his way.
I prefer Snickers. I did make that. That
Okay,
statement.
Snickers. Okay.
I have a G2. Can I
Deep
drive
fried?
on the highway? I've never had a really.
Deep fried. You can go
I
at
don't-
the exhibition
that
and stuff.
sounds like
And
a
there's
bad
other
idea.
retailers.
I
Deep
have a
fried.
G2. Can I drive on the highway? This is scary that people with a G2 are asking this question because you should know this. And that's not to
Part
say
of your G1
that's not to make
testing.
fun of anyone who doesn't know it, because maybe you're a G1. Well, you said you have it. I can't defend you. A G2 is anywhere. It's a probationary license. You have conditions, but you're allowed to drive anywhere. The only real conditions are between midnight and 5 a.m. You can only have one person under the age of 20 in the first 6 months and up to 3 people under the age of 20 in the vehicle in the second 6 months. And you can never have more than you're never allowed to have anyone more than seatbelts and seats available. So you can't have 5 people in a 4-seater. But that's for everybody. What else is there? And
Zero alcohol,
zero
zero
blood
drugs.
alcohol content, 0 drugs. Very good. Very good. Randy wants to know about headlight adjustment after modifications. Their headlights are way too high. It's a big problem. People keep blaming it on LED lights being misdirected or being super bright. I think the big problem is dealerships are not doing proper PDI. They're not aiming their headlights. That used to be a big deal.
What is PDI?
It's the post-purchase. It's the charging you $500 for
I think I
setting
asked
it
you
up.
this last time.
Yeah, we
I'm
had
like,
the same
hold on,
bloody
stand by.
conversation. I hate that question. Yeah. So I think they're just misdirected. So are so many people who drive poorly. They're all misdirected.
I like it.
Misspent. That's you.
Misdirected. That sounds good.
It's different than misdirected. Okay. I want to join. Oh, I want to join the COP, but I don't know how to go about. Can you help understand how to go about?
Isn't this where you put up the training video? Please, no training video today. If you
No.
go to tps.ca and look up under careers, it'll tell you how to do that.
tps.ca, you say, /careers, was it?
I would have just gone to the website and found it, but that's you can do that extra step of. Did you get that? Jeff? I hope you have a pen and paper. So tps.ca /careers. Careers is spelled with a capital C.
No, don't do capital. It'll not work. I put it on screen for you. When you go to that website, you're going to see this. It's the career page with information. That looks wrong. So anyway,
Putting the right things
there are
up,
so many different headings you can look at. Police constable, special constable, parking enforcement officer, communication operator, auxiliary officer for volunteer, but I'd like to direct you to civilian roles. I got to shop it. Maybe they're ready to hire me as a civilian. Here we
Is this
go.
for you
Program.
there, Sean? I think it's for you.
You think so?
Sean,
Yeah,
my old position at Equity Inclusion is open.
Oh, so program manager, people and culture is open. 2025 Youth and Policing, the Yippee program. That's where students and young persons.
You're a
can
little
get
old to
involved.
be a yippie.
I'm okay.
The Yippie program is excellent. I'm going to tell you, it's ageism.
That's what it is.
yeah,
So I should go protest and
I think you
apply. Workplace investigator, equity, inclusion, and human rights, and communications operator. Those are the people who take 911 calls and dispatch police officers. They're the magic that makes everything run right. So those are the positions that are currently available outside of police constable, which is always available.
You're gonna have to show me how to do all that as well.
I was gonna
Yes,
say, I was gonna
indeed.
say, that's pretty neat. How did you do that?
Yeah. It's gonna be
Sean's
on
like, yeah, it's easy.
all
Press this, press that,
magic.
and you're good to go.
Giancarlo, you're gonna need a bigger pad to take all the
Oh.
notes I'm gonna need here.
The person about taxi cab says, I didn't know you need a cab license to drive a cab.
Oh,
Then you
Jesus.
should not be driving a cab, my friend.
Oh,
If you
no.
don't know,
Maybe he's an Uber and doesn't understand the difference.
that's
Maybe
even a bigger
that's-
problem. But
that
you
would be it.
definitely shouldn't be driving Uber while learning as a G1.
Lyft, so
Oh,
he's-
please say this is not
He's-
real.
He's gig economy. He's gig economy, not
No.
cabbie. I think I'm hoping that's where the misunderstanding is.
We're going to assume that it's 11 o'clock, or at least it's almost 11 o'clock. Sadly, it's a short show today because I am on volunteer hours, which means I'm not staying the whole day. But we have a lot of work to do while I'm here. I thought about coming back as an auxiliary officer.
We need them here at Traffic Services.
Oh,
Folks, I hope you really enjoyed this show today. It is 10:59. We're going to say goodbye to Sean permanently, and you'll never see him again
That's
on the
not
show.
true. You can't
We're going to
keep
get
me
my
out.
last name fixed. I am Star Wars Cop on Twitter and TikTok. If you're following me on TikTok, I promise at some point I'm going to make material. And then on
what's
Instagram,
TikTok?
I'm the Star
What's
Wars Cop. TikTok is that short little video thing. You're too old. I'm not going to explain
What's
it to you.
TikTok?
We'll,
He needs an account.
We'll make you some videos with TikTok. Okay?
I will tell you that I have been doing some lives now and again. You jumped onto one of the lives.
Yeah,
I mean,
got you in trouble.
Well, not really. It was a very temporary thing. Apparently, TikTok is very specific about firearms, even when there's ridiculously oversized movie props. It didn't look real at all.
Yeah.
But I got temporarily shut down for like 2 hours, and then I was reinstated. Anyway, this fact is that I jumped on. I've been hanging out in my basement, talking to people about traffic safety and traffic law, because until you get set up, I figure there's an opportunity there where people need some help. So I've been doing that just for fun. If you want to join me, you can always follow me on all on all social media at VoiceOver Cop. And next week, if you're in Florida, I'm going to be speaking at the Smile Conference, which is smileconference.com. It's a police officer only event, but it is an event teaching police how to social media.
Is that near Orlando? Because I might have a shopping list of Star Wars stuff.
You know what? It's
Oh
in
my
Boca. Where is it? If you go to
Boca
I'm
Raton.
going to apologize to everyone right
Isn't
now.
Boca
This guy was
where-
Star Wars. I'm so sorry.
You know what, Giancarlo? How do we mute him again? Isn't that where Jerry's parents stayed, or George's parents from Seinfeld?
Is that where it is?
It was Boca, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
How is Smile? Oh, because I don't know how to spell it. Okay.
Sean is now looking up websites on my account that he's getting blocked from, which is good.
There's
Just so
nothing
you
wrong with
know.
that. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see here. I'll show you where it is. Okay. Here we go. Smile Conference is in Palm Beach County.
And that is a picture of Sean at a much younger age.
Only 4 days, 17 hours, 23 minutes, and 46 seconds away. Yeah, so I'll be at this event. And it's really just an excuse to go to Florida. Well, that's not true. I've spoken at this event virtually, so it was a nice opportunity. I was going to speak at it virtually when if I was still a police officer, and now that I'm not, I'm going in person.
I've never been to Florida. I want to
No,
go.
you come on.
I've never been to Florida.
The intervention. We need to boys trip. We need to go to Florida.
We're not allowed to talk about it on the air. Why he's not allowed in Florida?
No?
He's not allowed
Is
in
there a
Florida.
lot
He's
of
not
Star
allowed
Wars
in
stuff
Florida.
you can go buy in Florida?
He's not allowed into Florida. Even Florida does want him, and Florida lets anything go.
So I guess show us how to do that. How you did the
Yes.
that was pretty cool.
And then we're actually going to say goodbye. We have no dad jokes. There were no dad jokes pinned. I didn't see
there was
dad
one,
jokes. Star Wars joke. Here's
yes.
one.
Oh no.
You ready with your Star Wars buttons?
Cancel. Hit the end button. Hurry up.
No. Can we mute him?
Why
again?
doesn't Darth Vader use the metric system? He prefers Imperial. Oh, we have other dad jokes. The Grinch gave a dad. Okay, I'm so glad the dad jokes kept up. Let's see here. Dad joke. Wait, 3 bald guys? I feel like this might be about us.
Hold on a
Oh, mind you,
second.
I've got more hair today. Is it safe? Okay. Dad joke. 3 bald guys walk into a room. One says, "Wow, it's getting pretty bright in here." The second guy says, "That's just the light reflecting off our heads." The third guy smiles and says, "Good thing we're all shining examples of perfection."
I guess it's this light here. If you can't see it, I got the sun on me right now. It's the equivalent. I can't even stare into it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get my special
Just don't walk towards it.
I'm gonna have to get my special glasses that I used or didn't use during the eclipse. So I can
Oh goodness.
watch into
Okay.
the sun there.
There we go. All right. With that, I will put the recruiting video on, and we're going to sign off. And I don't know when I'll be back, but certainly I don't know when you'll be back. But we'll
I'll be back on tomorrow if you give me all the passwords there,
Sounds
Sean.
good.
Stop holding this. Come on now. Give it
Okay.
up. Give it up. John Carlo wants on tomorrow.
Oh, awesome.
Oh.
You
He
guys
looks
do it.
forward to this. He's like, man, I really want on that show. So,
Every day. I say it.
Every
yeah,
day.
every day.
All right. Thanks for coming out, guys. We'll see you soon.
Your future career starts with a vision. A vision of opportunities ahead, where you can see a path to a noble career, serving the city of Toronto. Where do you see yourself? Toronto Police Service. Apply today.